Do we want to be like, welcome to Two Ducks and a Bear podcast? I'm Walter Blakey.
Yeah, you can do that, but I am not going to be doing that because I have, I don't know, what's the word? Respect for myself.
Butt breath. What? Why don't we do an actual introduction where people say their names?
Yeah. Well, I'm Zach.
Hi, I'm Walter.
Yeah, that's Walter. That's Zach, and I'm your Tetris 99 playing basement dwelling dingle dongle. I'm Noah. We're talking about here's the thing. We all like to play video games, so we all like to play video games together. Some of us like to play video games apart. I've been playing video games. It's me, Noah. You might not know our voices yet. I've been playing video games with Zach since I was 5, because he's my brother. And I've never seen Walter in real life, but you know what? He's a beautiful guy, and he plays video games, but he only plays video games made by white people.
No, hey, no.
Walter,
Shut
little-known fact.
No.
We were playing Apex Legends yesterday, because we're cool kids, and we like to keep up with current trends.
We're Zoomers.
And I'm no boomer. I'm a Zoomer. Gen Z, represent. You can't see it right now, but I'm holding up a backward Z with my fingers. I'm making a sign.
I've actually got my vape pen.
Pathetic. Get out of here, Gen Zer.
So we were playing hit new Battle Royale, Fortnite killer Apex Legends yesterday, and we were talking about the new Nintendo Direct that came out. We're recording this on Friday. It came out, I believe, on a Wednesday.
Oh, no.
We're recording this on a Saturday. I got drunk last night. In that Nintendo Direct, one of my favorite game developers, Platinum Games, announced a new game called Astral Chain for the Nintendo Switch, and I expressed that I was excited for this in our Discord, to which Walter said, I don't like games like that.
What?
And I was like, what? So we talked about Bayonetta, and he said he played Bayonetta, which is one of my favorite games. Bayonetta 2 is actually better. It's just more Bayonetta, and it's great. And he said, I played Bayonetta 1, you know? And the thing is, when I was playing Bayonetta 1, I was like, this is okay, but I don't want any more of it. Because he hates America.
I think it was also because he was having a stroke at the time, so it was a little bit off.
Yeah, that's how our grandma died.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry. I went to the hospital. I got checked out,
yeah,
and now I love Bayonetta, clearly. But no, yeah, everything was fixed. I love all Japanese games. Anything they come out with, and I play it all now.
This whole conversation came to a head while we were playing Apex Legends after the conversation in the Discord, and Walter was like trying to think of games other than like Western developed shooters. You know where this is going. other than Western developed shooters that he has played and liked. And imagine, if you will.
Hey, don't worry.
Imagine, if you will.
Yeah, I like some Mario.
We decided he likes platformers. He likes Western shooters. And then he said, Noah, well, we were like looting some shit. And I was like, Walter, good buddy, good friend of mine, who...
No, don't, no.
You know what game I like? That's a JRPG. And I said, what? Could it be?
No!
Walter's played my favorite Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy VI.
No!
Maybe Final Fantasy VII. A little bit overrated because PS1 era games haven't aged super well in 3D graphics.
Super well.
But it's still a great game.
That's true.
Maybe Walter has played countless other JRPGs. Chrono Trigger, Mother, Something Amazing. And he says,
I have played Mother.
But here's the thing, you fucking idiot. Here's what you said when we were playing Apex Legends. You stupid idiot. You fucking dum-dum. What? You said, Noah, is Lost Planet a JRPG?
I had a few beers. I didn't know
Noah?
what I was
Hey,
doing.
Noah.
I didn't know what I was saying.
I know Capcom's a Japanese company. Is the game they made where you run.
Oh my God, Lost
on the
Planet
ice planet.
Extreme Condition. I forgot about this game.
Hey, Zach, I know you forgot about it, but do you remember the turn-based combat and random encounters and text-heavy dialogue of Lost Planet Extreme Condition, Walter's favorite Japanese role-playing game? You.
This is gonna be our first episode, and it's gonna be the last episode anyone listens to because they're like, "Oh, there's this fucking guy that just thinks Lost Planet is a fucking
Japanese
JRPG
people made it.
because he's an idiot. This guy's a fucking idiot."
Oof.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh God, I totally forgot this game existed. I liked it when it came out.
It was actually a pretty okay game.
Yeah, it was solid.
And one of the more astonishing things about it is that it spawned 2 sequels.
That's right.
Each one less and less like a JRPG. The third one was actually like a horror game, like it was trying to step into where Dead Space, another excellent JRPG, like left a bit of a dent. But I'm done shitting on Walter for a little while because he doesn't always deserve it.
I don't think I ever played Lost Planet 3. I played 1 and 2.
They're fine.
3
Yeah,
was a letdown.
I don't know.
That was before
letdown. 2 was a letdown, and then everyone was like, 3 is gonna be great, and it was a letdown.
basically any
But I don't know
Yeah,
because
that's
I don't
true.
play many Japanese RPGs. You know,
most, as far as I'm concerned, and people will correct me because I'm frequently wrong. A lot of Capcom games that weren't Monster Hunter that came out between like 2005 and Resident Evil 7 were fucking
really bad,
garbage, and they sucked.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil 7 came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, Capcom is doing a thing again," and it was a great game. And then Monster Hunter World came out, and they were like, "Holy shit, Capcom's really doing a thing again." And then they announced the Resident Evil 2 remake, and they were like, "Oh, gee, goddamn, Capcom's really doing a thing." And that game's great. Also, not a JRPG.
Yeah, I still gotta buy that one. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. Maybe after this weekend, I'm probably gonna pick it up.
Yeah, it's super, super.
Because I
great.
mean,
It's really
I
good.
never played the original. I never got a chance to play Resident Evil 2. I played 1, played 0,
Oh, wow.
played 3, 4, 5, even played a little bit of 6,
Shiver!
and loved 7.
okay, can I just give you guys a history of my
Yeah,
video
let's
game experience and explain where I've come from and why I am uncultured pleb.
My first game was for the Xbox 360, and it was a dank, epic game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and you could put weed
Oh, gosh.
on the gun.
No. Okay. Here is how video games through the life of Walter, the boy
The
that
boy
loves
that lived.
video games and the
Music
internet
sting.
and everything today. I grew up in the country. We did not have internet. We did not have anything. We had a Windows 98 PC that we got Star Wars Rogue Squadron
Oh,
4.
shit.
That was my first ever video game that I ever played on first ever video game I played. Played some random PC games, of course, just shitty kids ones, except
like
for the Star
Putt-Putt
Wars
Saves the
ones.
Zoo, or like
And
Freddy
then-
Fish.
Pajama Sam.
Oh,
Like
Frogger.
Frogger.
Pajama
Yeah,
Sam.
Pajama
Fuck
Sam. Oh yeah, that was. And then we had a Nintendo for a week, but my brother and I apparently fought over it. It was NES, the original Nintendo.
Hey, Famicom.
That was thrown away very quickly. Then I got a Game Boy.
Hang on.
That was my
Like thrown away? Oh.
yes.
Like in the trash?
My mom was
Mrs.
brutal.
Mrs. Blakey.
Yes, it is scarred
Was
in
like-
my brain. The image of this giant Nintendo being thrown into the garbage. I can picture our I can picture our laminate countertop just towering over me, and then this giant Nintendo in the garbage can, along with the Zapper, with Duck Hunt, and
for a split second, I thought you were going towards your mom
the original
tased you,
Mario, but
that kind of a Zapper. I was like, what the fuck kind of house did you grow up in?
Zachary, indulge me for a second, because what I'm imagining here is like Medusa when she went from the WWF to WCW with the WWF Women's Championship, and on live TV on WCW on TNT threw it in the garbage can to signify that she is no longer a part of Vince McMahon's territory.
Right.
And all Mrs. Blakey was doing, as I imagine her sitting in a dark room lit by a single bare hanging filament light bulb, smoking a long cigarette standing next to a garbage can, and Walter walks in and she lights up the cigarette with a match and throws the match onto the Nintendo in the big garbage can, and it does set on fire. Yeah, and she's like, "Put it out with your tears, little boy. Put it out with your tears, if you will. Cry and show me you deserve the Nintendo."
And then Walter falls on the bearskin rug.
Until he was like 20 years old. Yeah, and he watched the Lego Movie, and then he cried. Anyway, continue.
So eventually got a Game Boy Advance.
SP or a regular one?
Regular.
Okay.
The comfortable ergonomic one, but not the light-up screen that couldn't make you see it at any time of day.
But you didn't get like arthritis from holding on to a tiny little stupid laptop.
Exactly. I did not get carpal tunnel from holding on to the tiny baby laptop for children.
Fun fact. Game Boy Advance SP. I played a lot of the Game Boy Advance tie-in game for the hit Disney film, Home on the Range.
Wait, really?
It was about...
with like the talking cows?
I thought you were going for... The one that I was thinking was the one for the hit DreamWorks movie, Shrek.
Actually a solid, like, action platform.
Yeah. My hit big movie studio game was the hit movie starring Ray Romano. Ice Age.
Deborah! Deborah, I'm in a video game, Deborah!
How do I get out?
Throw me on the screen!
Somebody get me out of here!
Deborah, I'm in the magic box! I'm in the tiny children's laptop!
Turn me into a
They're
big
gonna
hairy
blame me for
elephant,
giving them the arthritis! Deborah! Okay, so you had the Everybody Loves Raymond Game Boy Advance game.
I had the sad brother that dipped everything to his chin, and
he sounded like he was constantly in slow motion.
I see
had that
playing my video game. Little wolf. Was it actually? Wait,
No.
was it?
It's Ice Age.
I didn't wait. Wait, is Ray Romano the woolly
he's the
mammoth
woolly
in Ice Age?
mammoth. I think we were talking about.
Oh my god! I thought we were talking about Everybody Loves Raymond.
You know that classic episode where Ray turns into an elephant, and his brother is just a little tiny squirrel who just walks around saying, "Life is a chore and I don't get any acorns." And that's the whole episode.
And his wife is a fucking dumb idiot sloth that ruins everything. I heard the words hairy elephant and I was like, wow, Walter chose to go to a very interesting place in describing this Everybody Loves Raymond tie-in handheld Game Boy game.
Okay, now I need to look up if there's an Everybody Loves Raymond video game. There can't be, right?
There's a Cory in the House video game.
There sure is.
It'd probably be a lot like a Home Alone. Well, I guess Home Alone actually makes sense for the classic Nintendo games. Or Atari? Was Home Alone on Atari?
I don't know. But yeah, Everybody Loves Raymond does not have a video game.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's Lost
Sweet
opportunity
Life
right
of
there.
Zack and Cody had one.
Angry Video Game Nerd actually played with Macaulay
Oh yeah, I see
Culkin
that video.
last
Right
Oh
here,
yeah.
Because Macaulay Culkin
He-
is doing
he
like the
did-
YouTube rounds, and I love that because I love Macaulay
Yeah.
Culkin.
Because he did his Red Letter Media thing.
Well, he changed his name legally to Macaulay Culkin
Yeah.
because there's this
Wait,
thing on
Macaulay
social
Culkin's
media.
middle name is now Macaulay Culkin, so Macaulay Culkin's full name is Macaulay Culkin.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Is it-
Yeah.
Yes, this is a real thing that happened in our real world.
Have you ever listened to his pizza band?
I have. I have listened to his pizza band.
Yeah, Walter, do you know about Macaulay
no.
Culkin's pizza band? He made a parody band of the Velvet Underground called the Pizza Underground, and they just do Velvet Underground songs about pizza. Velvet Underground doesn't exist anymore. They're replaced by my new best friend, Pizza Underground, starring Macaulay Culkin.
Oh my gosh, this lady's playing the pizza box.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's high art.
that's an
Oh
instrument.
my,
now.
this is high art.
This is what like Shia LaBeouf wants to be, but he's too busy like ditzing around with a bag on his head and
Okay, that was
being a
like
dum-dum.
how long ago? Like 5 years ago that he did that.
Well, Macaulay Culkin's Pizza Underground is like 4 or 5 years ago too.
Yeah, I guess. But so, do you guys ever think Shia LaBeouf is ever gonna like live it down of how crazy he is? now?
No, it's become a part of his persona
He's-
at this point.
He's actually leaning into
Yeah.
it because he's producing and directing a biopic about himself where he plays his father.
What?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Even Stevens.
So, it's a new Even Stevens where he plays the kid and his own father, and
Yeah, and
there's like
well,
flashbacks
no,
of
he
Bryan
doesn't play
Cranston.
the kid. He doesn't play the
Oh.
kid. They grew in a tube, like a test tube baby of the kid Beans from
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle,
Oh.
and he plays the kid. And Bryan Cranston's there, and he's Walter White.
Yeah.
So we got off topic. We didn't finish my my history.
Oh,
through the video game
Jesus.
world.
Yeah, let's hear more about your fucking
my,
Ray
my
Romano
messed
video
up
game.
life. I didn't have a.
Did your mom
video
eat the Game
console.
Boy?
No, the Game
Okay.
Boy survived a very healthy life, and it still works. It's in my backpack. I take it to work
Aw.
every day.
That's really cute.
My first video game console was the hit Nintendo Wii.
Oh wow.
The console that made you move because my mom thought I was a lazy child. And so played a bunch of Wii Sports, played a bunch of what is it? There was like this
Wii
like
Sports?
shooter game for Wii
Red
that
Steel?
was like no,
Metroid Prime
3,
3
Corruption.
started with a
Corruption?
C. It was not anything first party. It was like Ubisoft or something.
Oh god.
Oh,
What is it?
It was a shooter game though, like a first-person shooter game.
The
The
Conduit.
Conduit, yeah.
Oh, good game actually. Pretty solid
The
game.
Conduit.
Isn't that the one where
aiming was-
at the end it just like goes
Yeah.
full doy and just
Do you want me to explain the ending of
Yes, please.
Ubisoft's hit Wii exclusive first-person shooter, The Conduit?
Yes, I would love that.
Okay. So,
It's
The-
not Ubisoft, guys.
oh, okay. Who made
It's
it?
Sega.
Oh, it's that makes
Oh,
more
wow.
sense.
Yes.
This is why you hate
Sega.
Japanese games, is because you played the
No, I
stupid fucking game, The
love
Conduit.
the Conduit. I love the Conduit.
It's
so
actually
much.
okay. So let me describe the Conduit. The Conduit, I think, came out post Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and it like aped the really good aiming system from that game, where if you hold down the Z button on the nunchuck of like the Wii controller, you are stuck facing that direction, and you can strafe left to right using the control stick, and you aim by pointing at the screen, and it was actually really intuitive. The cool thing is once you let go of the Z button, you turned by moving the Wii Remote pointer to the right, left, up, or down of the screen. Right. So it was kind of like moving a mouse around the screen to aim, but you were able to like stop the screen, and there would be an animation where the hand would like move up, down, left, and right, and it was a really good way to do first-person shooters on the Wii. Then the story, if I remember correctly, was like a whole New World Order thing where you're in the FBI.
Yeah.
And you've got like not the Eye of Eden, that's like Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is the Apple of Eden.
Yeah.
But you've got like the all-seeing eye, and you're uncovering all this wacky story about American conspiracy theories, and it's kind of fucking cool. And then at the end of the game, you're like, oh, I closed the conduit that the aliens are coming through, or whatever. I did it. I'm Action Man Thompson, and I saved the world with my
Conduit Jackson.
Conduit Jackson here. I saved the world with my giant white penis. And because it was just like White Man Joe was the protagonist, and he saves the world with his penis. It's a whole story. He like shoves his penis into the conduit, and the conduit closes because of his wiener. But then the conduit reopens while he's laying on the ground, and he's like, oh no, my penis didn't do the job yet again. Because, like, he had a divorce, and it was a whole thing. Not actually. But the conduit reopens, and these two guys in mecha suits come out of the conduit.
Yep, I do remember this, right?
And they look down at Conduit Jackson, and they say, wow, you did, or like, more actually, like, wow, you did a pretty good job closing that conduit, you did. And their visors come down, and it's George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, former presidents of the United States of America.
Fucking like Assassin's Creed 3 stupid fucking weird storyline with goddesses and gods and whatnot.
But like
almost. But it was
way
like
worse.
Immortal presidents. Oh.
They were like time travelers who fought aliens. And then the Conduit 2 came out, and it like scrapped the entire interesting side of the story and turned Conduit Jackson into like T-rated Duke Nukem.
Oh, Jesus.
And he like made funny poop jokes, but you couldn't show boobies on the screen because kids were playing it.
Okay.
And it was terrible.
Here's all the review scores. It's a very divisive game. We got C+, we got 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Second opinion, 7.5 out of 10 from Game Informer. They decided to give it a second shot. They're like,
that's really interesting, actually.
I wanna come back and play that. GameSpot gives it a 6.5. GamesRadar gives it an 8 out of 10. Really, they really love that.
That's interesting.
GamesRadar gets me, dude.
Yeah. Game Trailers 7.8. IGN.
Can you tell me
guys.
Who wrote that GamesRadar article? Was it David Houghton?
Let me.
Yeah, you and Houghton go way back, don't you?
Yeah, I've been reading Dave Houghton's video game reviews. I don't even know if he's still there, because they've like merged with Empire Magazine or some shit. And it's honestly, they still have a good news site, but I think a lot of their reviews are outsourced now.
It looks like it was Chris Antista.
Chris
Antista. I recognize that name too.
Yeah.
Okay, what did IGN give this game? I'm gonna guess an 8.5.
I would say
8.6. You were very good.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at their review of this hit Wii game of my stupid.
Yeah, while you're looking at that, I'm looking at the Metacritic right now, and it looks like the user reviews are far higher than the critic Metascore. Like people,
I feel like maybe
really enjoy it.
Is the Conduit a cult game?
It might be. I mean, it was one of the few shooters for the Wii that actually came out and people liked it.
Yeah, it's basically
it got a sequel.
It did. It was a bad sequel. If you look at the reviews of the sequel, I'm sure they're going to be on average lower because they took out everything cool about the first game.
Yeah.
It sold 350,000 copies.
That's not terrible.
I guess for the time, it's not too bad.
Yeah, there were 3 very good core shooters for the Wii, which is nowhere near as many as there would be for any other console, but these ones actually put like effort into designing controls that work for the Wii, and it's the Conduit on the bottom, and then Red Steel 2, which is amazing, and then Metroid Prime 3 at the top, which I think gets really sorely overlooked for Metroid Prime 1 and 2. I think it's the best Metroid Prime game.
Do you really?
And
I don't think I agree with that.
I do. I think it's the best Metroid Prime game, maybe by a long shot.
By a long shot? Ooh.
I think it's absolutely
because
excellent.
I love
Like,
love that game, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's like there's some heady
says-
themes
That's
in that
true.
game. There's
Yeah,
some crazy
it
shit
gets
going
adult compared to the other ones. I don't know. I might just have a really soft spot for the first one.
on. Yeah, it's a good
This-
game. Walter, what were
yeah.
you saying?
According to Wikipedia, which
Uh-huh.
can be affected by anyone, it says there was a release for Android in 2013
Of the
for
conduit?
the Conduit.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
What?
that was when, if you remember, a lot of like first-person shooters were coming out on mobile, where you kind of put your left thumb where
you
where the
swipe-
left stick
yeah.
would be, and your right thumb where the right stick would be on a PlayStation controller, and you moved forward, backward, left, and right with your left thumb, and you aimed with your right thumb, and then if you tap your right thumb, you would shoot,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it was fucking terrible.
Okay, guys. So
It was
I
the
have
worst
I have a
thing
very
ever.
quick question for you two. Do you know
Okay.
what the name of the sequel to the hit game The Conduit was? What is the name of the sequel?
Walter,
Abe
you go
Lincoln
first.
Vampire Hunter.
Okay, Noah.
Okay, I'm gonna take a serious guess at it. I think the title is Conduit 2. I think they dropped the, and they just called it Conduit 2, and maybe there's a subtitle, but I can't.
Noah
guess what the
is
subtitle
correct.
Wait.
He is correct. They I just looked it up and couldn't remember because I hadn't seen. I played the first one, but never played the second one. But even just
Okay.
looking at the box art, it's just like you can tell that they decided to go stupid doo-doo head, like big muscle man.
Oh
with
wow,
it.
is it actually like they dropped the?
Yeah, they
and
did.
just called
Yeah,
it
they
Conduit
did.
2? Is there any subtitle? At
No,
all?
it's just Conduit 2.
Oh wow.
So
I did
the
it.
Wikipedia the Wikipedia page for it says it is the sequel to The Conduit. The definitive article of the original title was dropped during development as the developers considered it too much of a mouthful.
Oh god. The Conduit 2
Was too much
What
of
the? Hang on, I'm gonna dig a bit through like some of my games. I still have physical game cases because I'm a fucking idiot from the past.
Oh yeah, I'm also a garbo man where I don't have physical games anymore.
And
Unlike
we'll,
any
like-
We'll get into
enthusiast.
that at some point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read through some of my fucking video games here, and we'll see if they're more of a mouthful than The Conduit 2.
Oh no.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. That's a lot of fucking words. That's like if you called it Bros Ultimate. They'll know what that game is. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Why don't we just call it The Legend,
Legend
of
of
the Wild?
Breath.
Everyone will get it. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Praise Geraldo. I can't say anything bad about this game. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. Nier Automata. Fucking Walter hates that game because it's Japanese. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Red Dead Redemption, Doom, Metro Exodus, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Resident Evil 2. I put those in a stack of things that are harder to say than The Conduit 2, and the only game I have in the stack of things that are easier to say than The Conduit 2 is Doom.
You know, I don't think they went far enough with their title of Conduit 2. I think they should have just called it Contuit.
Damn it! I was just about to say that. Fuck! Damn it! Beat me to it.
I think they just
Fuck.
should have called it. They should have called it It 2
It.
and released it today in the movie theaters, and everyone would be like, "Oh, it's the sequel to the Scary Clown Man," and they would have flocked in droves to see the Scary Clown Man eat people, and then they'd just see like.
Just the Let's Play.
Like
Just
it says like
fucking-
hold A and B at the same time or press plus to play, and it's like It 2 and Conduit Jackson is on there hanging out with his best friends George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Walter, we've talked enough about The Conduit and its sequel Contuit, also known as It 2. Please continue your journey.
Well, played Wii games, all the good Wii games, except
Okay.
for all all the Japanese RPGs, you know.
So let's just
were there good ones?
Let's think a little bit about that. I don't think there was a Shin Megami Tensei for the Wii. That means you didn't play Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
It means you didn't
not.
play. They re-released some Final Fantasy games for it.
There really wasn't much. Not that I can remember.
I mean, there's
anyway.
probably some really good ones that we don't know
That's
about.
true.
I should put down the disclaimer that I do like Japanese-developed games, but I tend to straddle the line and be playing, like, critically acclaimed, well-liked by audiences Japanese releases. So Metal Gear Solid is probably, like, my favorite game series, and Nier Automata, I think, is really good. The original Nier I actually really like. So on and so forth. I really like Street Fighter and that kind of thing.
So in the world of Japan, that world over there, completely different planet, you know.
Yeah. They watch cartoons.
You would be considered probably more of a casual. Like,
yeah, they'd think I was a
make
fucking
sense
normie.
Yeah.
Like I'd be playing like Street Fighter, and someone would be playing like Dissidia 5 X Tekken with like the little girls edition, and be like playing just like crazy and being like, oh, you're playing Street Fighter, or like you're playing Guilty Gear. No, you gotta play Dissidia 17 X Redemption. Look, this one has the secret Final Fantasy 15 Noctis character in it. And I'd be like, oh, Final Fantasy 15 was bad. But we'll get to that later. Yeah. Walter,
what?
Let's continue your story.
Then played the Wii a ton of stuff. I also played other consoles at friends' houses because that's the only chance I had. So I played Xbox
at this point,
360
the other consoles would be Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Yes. Halo 3 came out. Played a boatload of that.
So did we.
Shit
Halo
ton
3,
of Halo 3.
We played a ton of Halo 3, especially custom games.
Oh yeah.
And
Forge.
I've played Forge. I've played the campaign of Halo 3 so many
I would say
times.
Conservatively 20 times for me.
It's somewhere
I'd
like
say,
that, yeah.
I'd say probably more 20 plus for me also. Like if Halo 3 did a fucking PC port, because now I'm a PC boy, like I would totally play the shit out of that.
Yeah.
But okay, played video games with friends, had a Wii at home. Didn't really play much of my own games. Got a Nintendo DS also.
But I think the important thing is like something that really hooked you in. Would this be like middle school, high school?
Yeah, middle school.
Middle school was Halo 3, and that was, if you remember back, let's go in the Wayback Machine. The Halo 3, the release of Halo 3 was like the second coming of Jesus Christ. It was
people
insane.
Went mad. Like that was the first. Actually, that's like one of the first video game releases I remember. That was the first one where I had friends who were just like waiting outside of a GameStop for like a day, just waiting to get their hands on it, and people freaking out about getting the helmet that you couldn't wear, but you could put the game case in, so that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh.
If you are old enough to remember watching college basketball, the NBA, the NFL, any kind of sport in the 6 months before Halo 3 came out, you will have seen like the Neil Blomkamp directed live action Halo 3 trailers.
So good.
And they were so good. And then they ended with the little tinkly part of the piano,
I'm actually right now getting chills thinking about those, because I love those commercials so much.
And then it would say, finish the fight, and you came in your pants a little bit, and you really wanted to play Halo 3.
Were those the ones where it was just like
Halo 3
they had
was.
the models, and then they had like the guys talking about it like they were in the war, talking about their experience?
Right.
Those were so good.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I love those.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before I really... Because I played Combat Evolved at a friend's house. I remember. I can't remember who it was, but I played it at a friend's house a couple of times, and the first time I ever played it was the library, and I jumped in, and the two of us played the library, and I like shit my pants because I was so scared and didn't know what the hell was going on.
Wow.
And then I just never really heard much about Halo again until 3 came out, and then I remembered, oh yeah, Combat Evolved, because there was.
Did you play 2?
No,
because I
no,
played 2
I never played
in the
2.
months upcoming to
Yeah.
3, and like 2. I remember sitting in a large living room with like 8 of my friends. We got all of their Xbox 360s and plugged them all in Ethernet cables.
LAN
party.
Plug them all together. Like the internet existed. Like it was a thing. But
it's so much more fun to
still
have
had
everybody
to-
just sit together and just play it in the same room.
Yeah. And we also when Halo 3 came out, we did the same thing. And we also got the fucking Mountain Dew that had
Game Fuel, yeah.
the first ever Game
Oh, yeah.
Fuel with Master
You were
Chief on
fucking
it.
shoving Doritos into your nasty face hole
Yeah.
and butt chugging the blueberry Game Fuel. You're going fucking crazy.
Wasn't it like-
you're going on a 12-year-old's version of a Coke
Wasn't the
bender.
original Game Fuel like
was.
the
It was
orange
great.
shit that had like the Halo 2 model of Master Chief on it with the two SMGs, or was it?
I believe.
It had
Yeah,
Halo 3
I believe
box
the
art
original
on it.
Halo 2 Game Fuel is actually rebranded now and sold as Mountain Dew Live Wire.
Ah, that's
the
right.
nasty orange acid. Yeah,
But
it tastes like shit.
Acetone,
the
the
other
soda.
Fanta
Yeah.
from the other Orange Crush from fucking PepsiCo, where they're like, "Hey, you guys don't like Orange Crush as much as you like Mountain Dew. How about Mountain Dew Orange, bitches? It's Orange Crush, but labeled with fucking Game Boys on it."
Boy. Anyway, so Walter, would you say it's safe to say, without hearing too much of the rest of the story, you played a lot of games and you grew up with Nintendo games, so you
Yes.
yourself are very attached to those still. But the first game you played that made you go, "Holy fucking shit, video games are dope as hell," was Halo 3.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I never grew up with like game consoles except
Right.
for
Right.
like I got a 360 near the end of my high school career, but didn't really play it much. And then I also keep in mind this whole time I did not have the internet at
Right.
my house.
Yeah.
I did not have the internet until I went to college
Whoa.
in 2012.
And you joined like a fucking escaping the Amish support group or something on campus?
Pretty much it felt like that because
Yeah.
I all of the internet just like was like shotgunned into my brain, and I just fucking like
And that was when Walter
I
became an
downloaded
incel.
Steam.
Yeah.
And
Except he doesn't like Japan, so the anime titties
That's
aren't
true.
a factor.
That's true.
so then I built a PC because I was going to school for film and needed like a beefy PC
So you could do all the
to
editing and stuff
edit
like that, yeah.
Stuff and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and of course play video games on it. So built a PC, was pretty great. Downloaded Steam. One of the first games that I played was like Payday 2.
Oh,
that was brand new, just came out. Played
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
We played a
that
ton
with
of
our
that.
friend Rory a lot.
That's how I met you fucking guys.
Yeah.
That's how I met you guys. And then and then I was a PC boy from then on, and like I guess shooters were always the games that I played besides of course like playing Mario and stuff. And I like racing games and stuff too. Like I'll play the shit out of
But those
Forza,
are
but those are
pretty
universally liked.
universally. There you go.
Yeah, universally liked. But like I guess I never thought that I had like a game genre that I guess I typically liked, but shooters. Although I do have to say, if it's an open world game, I am prone to like it just because I think my desires in my gaming experience is that I have the ability to explore and to feel like a motherfucking badass
Yeah.
because that's all I want to do. because I never felt like that growing up. I always felt like I was this dumb kid that had no internet and just fucking farm boy out there.
So like most JRPGs.
Farm boy. Yeah,
a farm boy with no internet.
No.
It's just like a little dumb dummy.
Well,
Walter,
I never
without knowing it, you were living a life like fucking Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
And now that's why you don't like Japanese games, because you've repressed it. You played Harvest Moon once and you were like, no, the farm boy is me. I can never play a Japanese game again.
So I guess I've never given a JRPG like a good enough chance to be like considered a like as a game to play. I don't know. I guess I've never really played. I played some Final Fantasies, but those were like on the NES and SNES.
Yeah. So you played like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. So those are top down.
You weren't near the point where they were character driven.
Yeah, exactly. I typically don't like are they like turn-based action still, or is it like
up until Final Fantasy VI, although it was still a sprite art game
for the most part it's
top-down
turn-based
view,
stuff.
introduced the active battle system where your bar fills up and you need a certain amount of bar that refills in real time to do certain actions that your character has, be they attacks or healing spells or that kind of thing. But the enemy also has that too, and that was the first like real-time battle system in Final Fantasy.
Well, see, and it's not that I don't like turn-based, because like I play turn-based games. I like them, like Divinity. Divinity is awesome.
Yeah.
Civ is awesome. Strategy games, but I think it's typically the aesthetic. I think I don't like.
Which is the batshit insane. Like,
I don't relate with these crazy-haired, crazy like. I am the lanky boy. I am just skinny and tall. I am fat, thick boy. I'm just fat and chubby.
I can suplex a train.
Yeah,
that's a thing you can do in Final Fantasy VI. And it's amazing.
So I think I just didn't relate. I typically imprint on games where it's a blank character and I can just insert myself onto it.
Yeah,
I think that's typically.
Yeah.
I think that's typically
makes sense.
my sort of thing. It's not necessarily shooters. I like shooters, I think, because I'm pretty good at them. Like, I mean,
here is where I'm going to say I can get Walter to like a JRPG.
which one?
If he tries, and he's going to have to download probably a GameCube emulator, but I think Dolphin works pretty well now. Because Zach and I's first video game console was a GameCube. And by chance, thinking it was a platformer, we bought a batshit crazy game, follow-up to 2 previous JRPGs, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door.
I've played it.
There you go.
I played it. I like Paper Mario. I like the turn-based Mario games. I like the fucking Mario and Luigi DS games that are
like
turn-based.
Inside Story and
Walter, those are JRPGs.
I don't know the genre. Then I just am a clueless boy.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know.
You know, they're just like forgotten classic. Paper Mario is 2, Lost Planet, Critical Condition, as Halo is to Call of Duty. They're the same, dude.
So,
and
what is the fucking definition of a JRPG then? Because I have no fucking clue then.
My personal definition of a Japanese role-playing game is a role-playing game made in Japan with some form of combat, and it's character and text heavily driven in an overarching story that has lots of outlandish characters and an odd sense of humor, and that's pretty much it.
Beyond that, it can kind of just like go wild. That's kind of why I like the genre so much, is because you can basically take a very simple kind of premise and just go wild with it.
There's a lot of
they all typically have the same structure. It's typically like
for sure.
It's story driven, but it's like typically like a turn-based combat.
Yeah.
That you have many different characters that you.
Well, but the thing
have
is,
different
a lot of the way that that genre kind of still works is that they still toy with kind of like new combat systems. Like Final Fantasy still like they still change it. The way that
and it sucks now.
It does suck now. And
the Final Fantasy 15 was less of a JRPG and more of a Japanese action game. But if you didn't try when you were making the action combat, it's like they looked at a Platinum game and were like, we can do that. And
no, they couldn't.
They
couldn't
because
do it.
You absolutely can't. They thought they were Bayonetta, and they were more like a WiiWare game.
Yeah.
In terms of combat.
But
sure was pretty, though.
Right. But then you think of stuff like the way that it worked in 13. I can't remember the name of the system in 13.
Well, 13 used the active battle system that came out around Final Fantasy
Well,
6.
right, but they put a couple
I won't say for sure. Yeah, they put a couple of twists on it. They put in the paradigm system.
Yeah, that was what it was. And that was super cool.
Yeah.
I really liked the way that the paradigm system worked, where it was kind of just like everybody had their own kind of like, I mean, kind of like an RPG for like D&D and stuff like that. You each had your own kind of set.
It was an evolution of the job system from the previous Final Fantasy games, but you could switch that character's job mid-combat,
on the fly,
and you had different sets of jobs.
Okay, not that this isn't interesting, but you guys just started kind of losing me because it was just kind of okay. This game that you haven't played, there's a lot of stuff. There's different stuff to it, but
yeah, and there's like cool dudes in it, and Walter hates it.
So what we have learned is Walter being me, this is Walter's voice. I do like JRPGs, I just don't fucking know what they are.
Yeah, and here is, I think, the crux of that. Because when we were talking about this the other day, I was kind of thinking about it. What makes a Japanese game in general, not just the JRPG, different from a Western game in general? And in narratives, there are high-concept narratives, and there are low-concept narratives. Low-concept narratives tend to be very more, like, talky, dialogue-driven things. Blockbusters are very high-concept narratives. Like, anything beyond personal drama, personal conversations, like My Dinner with Andre, is a high-concept movie. Like, Jaws, the high concept in it is big shark. High concept doesn't mean like, oh, it is a talk conversation.
Right. It doesn't have to be about like big, huge, heady things. Like
exactly.
Like,
a high concept movie tends to not be about big, huge, heady things. Stalker could actually kind of be called a low concept movie because there's not a ton going on in it based on the dialogue. Anyway, if you put that into games, Western video games have very high concept genres. If you look at something like Anthem, the marketing for it is this bombastic, insane, you're flying around like Iron Man, look at how fucking cool this is crazy, it's gonna be the craziest game ever, you can go anywhere and do anything, and then you play it, and it's a fucking video game. It's a video game. You walk around, you shoot things, and it feels good, what I've heard. Feels good to shoot stuff, and it's fun to pick stuff up, but it's a fucking video game.
You just...
That's all it is.
Proving the point that I am American Muscle Man. I pick the big, thick, chunky character that has big gun. I am the typical diesel-driving Ford F-350 jacked up truck on tiny wheels.
But then you drive that truck.
And then I drive that truck through the mud.
It's a truck.
And it does its thing.
It does its thing. The thing that's different about Japanese games, and I picked Metal Gear Solid specifically. Metal Gear Solid is advertised on the case with, like, it's cool art. There's a spy guy, and it says tactical espionage action. And you're like, cool. It's a spy game. And that's all it looks like. It doesn't look like you're Iron Man. Little do you know, you start playing Metal Gear Solid 3, and in the first boss fight, a guy is juggling 2 guns while yelling at you like fucking Dio, like he hates your family, and later on a guy breaks his own arms and legs so he can crawl around like a crab, and you fight a 100-year-old man in a wheelchair, and you climb a big ladder while a song plays, and it's the only song that comes nearly as close to making you cry as much as Great Days from JoJo's Bizarre
Great
Adventure
Days
does.
is so good. Okay. But yeah, it's...
You guys talk about most animes, I'm gonna be lost.
No, that's fair. And I think...
And that's fine, because it's funny, because you hate
Well, that's kind of just like an extension of just like the way that not just video games differ between Japan and like quote unquote Western, like US and European made stuff, but like the way that like their TV does too. It's like it's very I don't really know how to put it, because I mean there's just
it's bombastic and wacky, but the bombastic wackiness is supposed to be like I'm trying to think of the word. It's understood to be that from the outset.
Right.
You're never really surprised when an anime gets weird, or you're watching a K-drama and people kiss like they've only ever kissed a wooden log with like a rotting part on it as the lips before.
It's not that I haven't seen any anime. I've watched One Piece. I've watched, well, of course this is a very common one in the Western world, but DBZ.
Yeah.
Everyone loves DBZ.
Everybody loves
DBZ is
DBZ.
great.
A lot of Funimation. I watched Castlevania, which was so good.
I still haven't seen it.
Which I believe Castlevania is a Western anime.
Yeah, I figured.
Maybe. I could absolutely.
I'm not sure.
Seven Deadly Sins.
I haven't
Very
watched
good
that
one.
yet.
That's a Netflix
Very
one,
good
right?
one.
I
Seven
keep
Deadly
seeing
Sins.
advertisements for that on Netflix and meaning to watch it, but I haven't yet.
It's an anime that takes place in like medieval like Britain.
Yeah.
But they call it something else, but you know it's pretty much Britain. And so then it's like knights walking around, holy knights, and they're trying to uphold and like keep the peace, but they're really corrupt and then whatnot, and then like whatever. It's really cool. I can't explain anything very well. I can't give
And
a
then
summary.
one of them knocks over a horse that was driving a carriage, and a man falls out of the carriage, and in his suitcase a mysterious
stone mask
stolen by a
the common
man
bit,
whose son will be adopted by the man with the mask.
the common bit. So the main character is Meliodas, and then there's this girl that is a princess, but she's like adopted, but she's like she is a fucking like has the spirit of Meliodas's past wife or girlfriend or something, and he is
this
constantly,
like a small
he is
little
constantly
8-year-old
girl.
girl?
Oh God.
That is
Is this like
the
a small
bit.
child?
And he looks like a small child, but he's actually like hundreds and thousands of years old or something.
Oh, it's one of those
no,
things.
I hate that
yeah.
trope.
Yep.
Gross.
Yep.
At least in
But-
JoJo, when they need a tiny child to get groped, it's an orangutan, and they don't try to justify it. The orangutan is just
gross
fucking
and
gross,
weird.
he smokes cigarettes, and he looks at Hustler.
But it's a very good one.
I'm looking. I am looking now, and it looks like Castlevania is made in America. Like it's an American anime.
Other than that, I mean, one thing I really want to get across from this episode is when someone says, "Oh, JRPGs, I don't like those games."
I didn't say that.
And you like... No, I know, but someone will say that every now and again. And you, if you're out there listening to our silky voices, are a person that does like JRPGs. Don't fucking jump down their pants about it and scratch they ankles about it and be a dick, because maybe you can give them a game to try.
I mean,
or just like stay off their back about
We-
it. Video games are supposed to be fun.
yeah, we are so like guilty of judging people for what video games they play. But if they're fucking having a great time, having a beach blast, just playing Fallout 76, even though everyone is collectively
Dude,
everyone's collectively being
go
like
for it.
collectively being like Fallout 76, what a trash game. I go on the Fallout 76 Reddit from time to time, and I just see these people just having
a
so
blast.
much fun.
Yeah.
They're just having a great time just in this quote unquote crappy game.
Walter, it's me, video game Jesus. Fallout 76 is bad for the industry because if you buy it, you're gonna ruin the industry, and if you have fun, you're a bad gamer if you like the game.
So to that video game Jesus, was that your name?
It's me, video game Jesus.
Okay, I'm sure you
I was
spell like
crucified on a bunch
you.
of video games.
Oh, well.
I'm sure you spell Jesus DJESUS like fucking Django Unchained.
It's DJUSEZ.
Oh yeah, well, hey,
XX
video game Jesus.
Jesus 420 Jesus.
Video game Jesus. Look at what happened to EA. Look at what all their studios have had a backlash for, and now they're actually producing good games, and they're learning from what they're doing. Their studios are actually pushing back at the major publisher to produce
Anthem
these
does
great
look
games.
pretty hype.
But
Apex Legends is pretty cool.
Apex Legends, pretty cool game. DJ Jesus, you wanna play some later?
But-
DJ Jesus.
No, I can't move my hand. I can't move my hands.
Oh, yeah.
Even in video game heaven, they're a nail dude.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh.
My stigmata, I can put the things on the controller. The mouse goes right through.
So, did you like come back in like 3 days, or are you still like dying on the stake? You're still bleeding
they
out.
They put me in the cave. But when I came back, the 3 days, Halo 3 came out, and when I went to the
On the
Walmart,
third day.
they had no Halo 3. On the third day, DJ Video Jesus XX420 went to the Walmart as he resurrected, and they had no Halo 3. And I said, peace out, I died for your video game sins. And then when I got to heaven, I said, no, Final Fantasy VII is the best game ever made, to someone who said Dark Souls is the best game ever made. And I was such a dick about it, they nailed me to a tree.
I think it's just that you're a dick.
I don't know about that. It's a big enough dick to have my hands nailed to a tree.
What?
Don't you laugh at me, boy.
I feel this bit is less
I'll
successful
make
than
you-
others.
I
I'll
think
make
we
you
need
play
to.
Fortnite.
I think we need to cut the.
Don't
we
make
need
me
to-
play Fortnite now.
We kind of wrapped up the topic a bit ago. We might need to just end the podcast now.
I mean, I think we can end the show. Video game Jesus is really struggling against the big, like, Dark Souls nails that have him nailed to a tree, and he's trying to get me, and at this point, it's very sad.
Video game Jesus. He just needs to die. We need to put out some positive vibes saying play whatever fucking video games you want. Don't judge other people.
Has video game?
Don't judge other people.
Has-
Don't do it.
Don't judge other people's video games.
But, yeah, video game Jesus, bit of a dick.
of a dick.
Bit of a dick.
Bit of a dick. But next time you see a kid flossing in line at Target, don't be like, oh man, that kid's a dick.
That will be an episode. We'll be
Because-
talking
Yeah,
about
we'll be
Fortnite
talking about Fortnite.
and our
That kid,
opinions of what it is.
the only thing he's guilty of is loving a video
And having
game.
a
When I was
hell
in
of a
middle
lot of
school,
fun.
I thought I was Steve from Minecraft. So fucking lay off
Yeah.
these kids, okay?
We spent
Yeah.
time in our house when our parents weren't there, pretending to be Resident Evil characters running around. So
Oh my
you guys,
Yeah,
you guys have
it
fun.
was like,
Uh,
yeah,
I was always Star Wars characters.
Well, that works too. But I mean, either way.
that's fun.
Fucking
Anyway.
another fucking just
Well, save
Industry.
that for another
Yeah.
day,
yeah.
because we can only talk for so long about stupid
Yeah.
shit. And
I'd say we have a pretty like deep well for our stupid shit that we can talk about.
I think
yeah,
so.
we got a lot of stupid
stupid
shit that we can dig out. But other human beings, if they're gracious enough to listen to this, if you're there, hello, thank you. Video game Jesus, he's not coming back.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. this is a pretty cool thing that we're trying to do. We're going to talk about all kinds of shit, whatever we want to talk about. I mean, guys, what else do you think we're going to talk about in the future?
Well, let's take a look at the docket. Just random topics that we have. We will be talking about pretty much anything that we want to talk about. D&D.
Also,
random pop
if
culture.
anybody does end up listening to this, which is not exactly a foregone conclusion, but if anybody listening to this has any suggestions, feel free to give them. We would be more than happy to kind of like branch out and try some different things and kind of get into some stuff that we may have just overlooked.
Walter, where do you want people to reach out to us? On social media to tell us that we need to talk about, or on High School Host Club?
Well, we have an email and we have a Twitter.
It'll be in the description. Anyway.
And if you want to email us about anything, like if you wanted to sponsor us. No, that's not a thing.
Don't sponsor
us.
me. Don't sponsor me. I'm a bad boy. You'll never know. You never know when I'm gonna kiss a girl on a camera, and you'll have to go, oh no, we can't.
Is this
the toothbrush
DJ
industry
Jesus?
simply can't have. No, this is Noah. the toothbrush industry can't have an ad on this podcast where this man might kiss a girl.
I mean,
right on her cute lips.
If anyone wants to sponsor us, I guess we'll take it. But
you would be making an
ludicrous.
extreme error in judgment.
I'm cutting this out. I'm not going to let us beg the man for money on this podcast. I've been anti-the man, Conduit Jackson lover, Noah Druckery.
Well, I have been Contuit lover, Zach Druckery.
And I have been your average American white man that only drinks Doritos and chews on some Mountain Dew, Walter Blakey.
And it's me, I'm back. Oh, it's
No,
video
go away,
game
video game
Jesus.
Jesus. You're a
Get
dick.
out of here. Get out of
Get
here.
out of here.
Oh,
Get out of
We're
here.
done. We're done.
The controllers